Welcome to SML Total Access, where we break down news, predictions, and more in our Madden League. Now, let's get fired up for SML football.
Hello and welcome to SML Total Access. I am Prime Time 000, joined by Matt and Dan. How are you guys doing today?
We're back. I wonder why.
John Cena. Sorry, getting a little excited about today.
It's a great day. The birds chirp, sound a little better. The sun looks a little brighter. The air smells a little fresher. I'm not sure why, but let's talk about it. Topic number one. Season 77 is over. Dan, Matt, we'll start with you, I guess. What did you think about the season?
Yeah, I thought it was an overall great season, quick season. I think a lot of people like that. Most people like that. No big hiccups from ownership or advances or anything game breaking, knock on wood. But even though we got the end result that I think most people expected with you winning Prime, I thought the journey there did not go as expected. You had the Raider fan run, obviously. And the upsets that came with that. And yeah, he fell short in the Super Bowl, very short. But I thought that maybe seeing that will give, I don't think anybody thought Raider fan would win a game. Yes. Beat Dan. Okay. That was kind of a weird game when you would break down the layers, but then to go into Kansas City against one of the best that we've ever had with that team and the ability and set feet lead, and to be down and looking almost out, and then almost, as we're talking wrestling, Undertaker rise up. I think there's some guys in Raider fans here, if you will, that might have been influenced and have some optimism as we go into the offseason.
Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about Raider fan here, obviously, just because I think it's good for the league when there are upsets in the playoffs, because it does give people those hopes. It's kind of boring sometimes when just the best teams always win. Obviously, we get maybe some better matchups at the end, but the whole process is kind of boring. It's like the NCAA tournament. It's a lot more fun when the upsets are happening. So to Raider fan to make that run, again, I'll say it's a little Matt-esque in the way that he did it, and that's fun. That's exciting. I think that's good overall. I also want to mention a little bit, since we didn't have too many episodes before, KP on his run was kind of the similar thing. That KP's a good player. He's won some already, so he has a little more pedigree than Raider fan, but he had the upsets as well too along the way, and then pulled off the best upset, really, Eli beating the Patriots and stopping the 20-0. So we had our fun run of let's have fun, and now we're back to the evil empire ruling the galaxy, and so it's time. Listen, last night the AFC elites, we had a special meeting.
There's elites
last
in the AFC.
night. We pulled myself, Q, Bomber, and KP. We pulled those guys together. We sat down. We had a little bit of meeting. We tried to figure out who left the back door open. We found out that it was actually KP forgot to lock the back door, and so that's how Raider fan got in. We figured that out. We're going to take care of that problem, and the elites are going to be back, and we're going to take care of business, and we're going to take down this evil empire.
I'll say this real quick. I did want to shout out KP, obviously. 2 seasons ago, that run he had, obviously beating me in the Super Bowl to stop 20-0 with the Colts. It was kind of a poetic game, obviously. So I want to shout him out. And then this season was unique, I think. Obviously, I'm happy that I won the Super Bowl. But beyond that, I really thought it was Dan's time with how good Dan was. I think he only had one regular season loss. And he was putting up more points than I've ever seen him put up in his SML career. Just to go out like that in a game against Raider fan, what shocked me a little bit, because I think he's played Raider fan twice before in the playoffs this cycle alone, and they haven't been particularly close. So I was a little surprised by that. And I'll talk about the AFC in a couple topics here, but the season as a whole I thought was fun. I think we've seen Stavo gain a little more footing in the NFC. I think we've seen guys like Gutta make steps in the right direction, who's just proving to be a perennial playoff contender at this point. Damon, again, making the playoffs. And some guys kind of trail off a little bit. Soda is one of them. Some people thought Soda might take the big step this cycle. I don't think that's going to be the case, and I'll talk about that later. Overall, good season. KP missing the playoffs was surprising, especially after winning a Super Bowl. We don't see that too often. Bomber getting upset in the playoffs. So it was kind of a fun, unpredictable playoff.
Yeah. Hey, Stavo, Tiny, AJ, MMX, let's have an NFC Elites meeting since we can just coin that term to anyone now.
Oh, yes. Who's gearing up?
At least I picked past Super Bowl winners. Come on now, Matt. Come on. Now.
Yeah. They weren't all elites though.
Yeah. That was. We'll talk about that in a second here. Who's gearing up for a strong remaining? Who do you think is actually going to have a strong remaining cycle? We got 6 seasons left, so we're a third of the way through. Dan, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think it's a great topic because I think if my memory serves me right, the last 2 cycles, the top player of the cycle hadn't won a Lombardi the first 3 seasons. I think Dump didn't, and I don't think you did last year. So we've got a lot of cycle left. This is when things start gearing up. You mentioned Stavo a little bit. I think he's one to keep an eye on. That's kind of up and coming. You just mentioned Soda. I know you got it kind of a maybe a different take on this, but I think if Soda can finally get settled a little bit on that quarterback, he has some rough injuries with tight ends this year, losing his top 2 players. I think he's a guy that's gonna cause a little bit of problems in the NFC, and so I would definitely keep my eye on him. As far as on the AFC, I think it's always Bombers kind of just lurking around there. He hasn't really made noise yet in the playoffs, but I think somebody said it earlier. If he's got to play the right guys. It seems like the underdogs are harder for him. If he gets a matchup against some of the more higher end guys, he seems to play a little bit better. So I kind of expect Bomber to make a run here second half as well too.
Yeah, Bomber's mine. I actually don't think he's gearing up. I think he's geared up. I think he has something like 10 superstar or better players at or under 26 years old. And that 26-year-old is Anthony Richardson. So if you're going to have an older player, you want it to be your quarterback since they regress a lot. Well, they usually regress a lot later, but we seem to be taking care of that. So I think it's Bomber. I mean, geez, you talk about he's basically at this point, and again, not looking at attributes, just looking at dev and future. The thing about the Prime taking the Lions wasn't the super team or this really good roster. It was the youth of the players on that roster that it's going to be good the whole cycle. Sometimes the super team is that really old team that's good for a season or two. Bomber, I think this is going to change because I think he's made some moves probably that maybe that's going to go. He's going to trade some of that youth, but he'll get something really good in return. He is going to have a really, 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 really good team for the rest of the cycle. So he's the one I'm looking at. I think he's starting to really understand his division. He swept Straw, how he did get swept by Meats, but even if he loses those 4 games, he has the 2 cupcake wins over what's his name. And then like Dan said, Bomber's going to win most of his games. Yeah, he's going to take that loss to Fig every now and then. It's Bomber for me.
That's good. Yeah, for me, I've got a couple guys I want to highlight. Bomber was going to be one of mine, really for the same reasons. I think his team's getting better. I actually think he's getting better. My biggest piece of advice for Bomber is this. Stop thinking about it. You're playing tight in the playoffs. Be yourself, clear your mind, and just do what you do. I've been there, a little Tom Brady rut from 2004, 2005 Super Bowl to like 2012 or whatever it was. There's a little bit of a rut in there. If you just clear your mind, you'll be all right. The other one I'm looking at, Tug. You would think I'd say Raider fan, but I think Tug could be a guy that's going to win that division. I think he is a good down the field passer. I know he's played Dan somewhat close in the playoffs. He pushed QP to overtime. He beat Straw a couple seasons ago. He just seems like he's making the strides in the right direction. He's also commentating a lot of playoff games, which means analytically he's seeing a lot of tendencies from guys, so he's probably going to be well prepared. I like what I see from Tug. On the NFC side of things, to me, This is going to sound crazy. CC. Dan said it all the way back in season 1. I don't think he's talked on too much since, but CC's a guy who went 10-7, won his division. I'm not sure who all's even in his division, but he won it. And when I look at him, I think he pushed Damon to a pretty close game in the playoffs. He beat me a couple seasons ago. I think that CC can make some noise in the NFC if he can build up his roster. Another guy, I know a lot of people are putting a lot of stock in Damon. Personally, I would not. He's in my division and Gutta's division as well. AJ. AJ's got a fairly light division. He's got a running back, Sally, who's good. The thing about AJ that he has to learn how to do, and Dan's talked about this ad nauseum, AJ throws more back-breaking interceptions than anybody else in the SML. If I could tell AJ to do one thing, it's to check the ball down and you don't got to Josh Allen it. You don't got to hero ball it. Like, take your checkdowns, run the ball. AJ's getting better and better. He's making the playoffs every season now. He used to be a fringe playoff guy. He's got a favorable division. I like what I'm seeing from AJ.
Real 2 quick notes. Prime, excellent call on CC. I think I missed that one. That was a really good one. And I played Tug twice in the playoffs, and they haven't been even close. So,
wow.
Yeah, I was waiting for the punchline on Tug, but CC's cooked. That division's cooked, so that'll keep him alive. But he's cooked. I do like what you said about Bomber and like not overthinking it. Look, I think he's probably one of, if not the best team builder in the league. And so I rarely look at a Bomber trade and go, "Ooh, I wouldn't have done that if I was him." Usually he comes out on top. But I also think that sometimes doing nothing is the right decision.
Yeah.
And he's got a really good team. I just mentioned the youth. He's got a really good pick. I'm a little nervous about what he's about to post here in a couple hours.
Bomber does one thing. Bomber does is he rolls the dice more than anybody in the league, and he gets more. He does more big trades than anybody, in my opinion. More big trades than anybody.
Matt, I'll give you a little quick spoiler. You won't have to worry.
Okay.
Wow.
He's wrong. Freaking Johnny. Oh God.
It's going to be a blockbuster in his favor.
Wow.
Okay, great.
Well, stay tuned to that, guys. Let's flip the positivity a little bit. Who are you sticking a fork in? Who are you sticking your fork inside and just saying their season's over? And Matt, we'll start with you. Or their cycle's over, excuse me.
Whose cycle is over? Let me see. The NFC East, the NFC West, and the NFC South minus maybe Stavo, and that's the end of question number 3. That's the Lions, the Packers, or the Bears. Look, Soda plays this game more than anybody in the world, but he's stubborn with his quarterback. He needs the thing with Soda and Stavo is I think they need someone to beat you, and so really that's Damon or Gutta. So I guess it could happen, but we're talking. They need help because they can't do it themselves. So, look, I think it's everybody except for the AFC North or NFC North, excuse me.
That's good.
Hey, I'm gonna throw out a little shocker, but I think this is gonna be 100% true. I think Straw's cycle's over. Did it ever start? We don't know because he hasn't won a playoff, but he's going south quickly in the wrong direction. And if there is a category for top 5 worst team builders, Straw might be in that category. His better players are getting older, and I don't think he will be able to build that team up. Guys like Bomber and others are figuring him out and missed the playoffs, and I think that's going to continue to be the trend. I think Straw cycle is done, cooked, over.
That's a good one. I had been pretty on my other show, SML Prime Time. I've been ripping Straw. I said he's going to be the folding chair of the cycle. I got the meats folding chair of the cycle is going to be Straw, and I think it's going to prove to be the point. Man, he looked good season 1, didn't he? Until the playoffs. For me...
Yeah, season 1 and 2, he was 1 seed.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, completely fell off the map there. For me, I'll say this. There's a lot of people riding the Damon coattails right now, saying that he's going to be the guy to beat Prime. And I think out of everybody in the NFC, he's got the most dog in him. Like, he's willing to stand up and say, you know what, I'll go toe-to-toe with you and I'll throw some punches. I think, and I don't know for sure, I'm either 5-0 or 6-0 against him in the playoffs. I think it's 5-0, dating back to last cycle. And I don't know if I've had that record against anybody in the playoffs to start. Like, usually I give up one. So I think in his head, there's going to be a block there at some point. Like it's a real thing. So he's going to have to learn to get over that to beat me. I'm not going to stick a fork in him. I think he's got the best bet, but I am sticking a fork in Soda. Soda is a guy who shocked a lot of people last cycle. And when you're under the radar, like a Raider fan, it's a little bit easier to win. But you make a Super Bowl, even if you don't win, Raider fan's going to learn. Guess what? What do we know about Raider fan now? He likes the checkdowns. He likes cover 4. He's going to run it with Genty. He's going to play mat ball. We didn't know a lot of guys didn't know any of that about 2 seasons ago. It's going to be a lot harder for Raider fan to win. Now with Soda, after last cycle, he made 2 Super Bowls. He lost them both. He's got more eyes on him. He's got a tougher conference than he did last year. He's got guys like myself, Damon, Stavo, even Gutta, who's playing well. I just don't see a way how Soda is going to find a way to win a Super Bowl or even make a Super Bowl this cycle. I'm sticking a fork in him. I think he's the best player with the lowest chance of making a Super Bowl is Soda. I don't see it. I don't think he's got that dog in him. I think he's a little mentally weak, actually.
Quick reminder, Prime. Wasn't it Bean, the guy that you played all the time in the playoffs and just had his number?
Oh, yeah.
That kind of feels like Damon right now.
I think so. Both really good players. Both really good players in that. And Bean,
always running into you every time, too.
Yeah. The one thing about Bean is he would find ways to shoot himself in the foot in the most dramatic way to lose versus me. Damon isn't quite doing that. Damon's not blowing the game, in my opinion. But
yeah.
Dan, I like what you said about Straw. He was going to be my pick, but I can't say that because just 3 months ago I said if he got the Bengals, he'd win a Super Bowl. So I'm really glad. I'm really, really glad that Straw doesn't listen to these. Just keep your head up, buddy, and let's get it done.
That's good. That's good, guys. Who are you spreading your love all over? Dan, we'll start with you. Love.
I just want to go to Raider fan. Beat me. I think what you said earlier, Prime. I was feeling good. I was feeling confident. I felt like I got a good handle on the game, probably better than I've ever felt, probably in the last 3-4 years. And he just took advantage of it and played a style that I think a lot of guys should be copying. Now, I say that with the thing of saying you should not run that same kind of defense that many times. Okay, I believe it is too much. Even if there's not an SML rule about it, just the kind of overall idea, you should not run one style in a sense like cover 4, where there's only 3 variations: drop, palms, and quarters. So you're just cycling through those 3. So you shouldn't run it that much, but you should be able to run a defense well, and where it's going to be, and then you handle the user part. And I think that's where Raider fan excels at. He knows where his guys are going to be, and he takes care of the rest. So that is a good framework for everyone in the league to pay attention to. If you're going to choose man, cover 2, cover 3, cover 4, let that be kind of your go-to, but not consistently always defense, and know where your guys are going to be and play smart defense. So hats off to Raider fan for playing that. I think he needs to evolve a little bit more into some variations now if he wants to take that next step to the elite status.
That's good. Right.
Raider fan was mine, so I'll pivot. But one thing I want to say, Raider fan has an identity. For better or worse, he has an identity. And I think a lot of guys don't have an identity, and they go in and just go with the flow, the game flow. Whereas Raider fan says, I'm doing this no matter what. And I think there's good and bad, but you need to have an identity. I'm going to share my love with the AFC West. I think a really good showing by that Division 3 three teams from that division made the playoffs. The only other division that was like that was the NFC North, who I think we would all unanimously say is the best division in the league. And really good showing. It's not like they just made the playoffs and then fizzled out. I mean, Tug lost to QP, so that's kind of a wash. Obviously, Raider fan and QP played in the AFC Championship game, and Raider made the Super Bowl. So hats off to them, but also hats off. We talked about this earlier, but hats off to all the guys that are in Raider fans tier. Again, Raider fan kind of came out of nowhere. He's a solid player, but I don't think anyone said he's going to make a Super Bowl. So guys that are sitting there around 8 and 9, 9 and 8, or even if you're, Nightcrawler, I forgot his name earlier. I think it's because he changed it. No offense. But hey, the optimism is there where everybody gets optimistic in the offseason for a 0-0 record. And so all those little guys, you just saw what I would consider a little guy making the Super Bowl. It can happen.
That was good. For me, I am, and this might be shocking. This might be shocking to some, but I'm going to spread my love on Mike FML. I mean, I don't like Mike FML, but I'm going to spread my love on him. Mike, you're 7-10. You're nearing the old days of 500, Mike. You've got a division which you can compete in. You were 3 games out of the playoffs in the NFC last year, and your team's getting better. You had a rookie quarterback who played solid. You got the Dallas Cowboys in an NFC where I think you can make some noise to make the, to make the playoffs. When I play you every time, you're a little more challenging than what your record shows. If I could give one bit of advice to Mike, it's to learn how to take the check down and don't play Anthony Richardson ball, throwing the ball down the field all the time. He's got a creative offense. His run defense is a little lackluster. If Mike could find a way to just clean up a few things, I think he can make the playoffs, and I think he could maybe win a playoff game or two. So yes, I know people don't love Mike. Most people hate Mike. I hate Mike, but I'm going to spread my love on Mike today. That's all I got. Matt, what's your 5?
I like Mike. Speaking of identity, Mike's turned into the guy he hates playing.
Yeah.
I'm going at that QB's knees all season.
Ooh, that's a loaded statement right there, man. That's a loaded statement. I'll let it slide, though.
I wasn't going to say it, but I'm glad you did.
So top 5, I'm going to go with top 5 people who I think will make the Super Bowl who I think can make the Super Bowl next season that are not in this call. I'm obviously excluded for performance reasons, but you guys are excluded for being the 2 best players in each conference, even though Dan hasn't really done anything. At number 5, I've got Stavo. Again, look, this guy ran a QB sneak from the 45-yard line out of a formation where the play doesn't even exist unless you use a specific thingamajigger. Boot up and play in my rear end, right? So yep. He's got a shot. He's in a really terrible division that he could sleepwalk through. He did that on purpose. He knew those teams would fall and who they would fall to. He got his easy division. Problem is, unlike last cycle, there's a big dog. It's not a bunch of puppies in the conference, but he's got a shot. He's a good player. At number 4, it's Gutta. I don't think Gutta Gutta has a Super Bowl, so I think he can kind of stick that in his back pocket. But this guy lays a lot of duds in the playoffs, guys. He wasn't even competitive in the game he lost. But he had a fantastic season. I'm not sure anybody was playing better than Gutta as we ended the season. He was just lights out on offense. His defense was good. He just was really impressive every time I watched him. And he plays late at night, and he's always the last game, so I have to advance after. So I was watching all of them. So really, he was playing really good. Number 3, Damon. Look, Damon was really good last cycle. It's hard to forget. He was just a small fish in a big pond in the AFC, and he was still good. Now, here's the thing. In order to beat Prime, you have to play Prime. And a lot of guys chicken out and run away from Prime. Then they play him one time every 4 seasons or once every 2 seasons in the playoffs, and they don't know what they're doing, right? Dan, I know you know these people. You can watch someone play Prime and you're like, they don't know how to play him. They're done. They're cooked. Yep. Damon knows how to play him. Damon just needs. Like you said, I thought the Bean call out was good. I think they're even friends in real life. He just needs to get over that hump. At number 2, I've got Bomber. We kind of talked about it. 10 superstars or better that are at or under 26. Wow. And the only one that is 26 is Anthony Richardson. So wow. Team's going to be good for a while. It already is good. Samson has turned into this dynamite running back already. He might not even be old enough to drink yet. I'm not sure. I know he was really young when we started. So, and Bomber knows what to do, and he knows what you are going to do. It's a real chess match. I still remember a 9-3 game against him in the snow in the playoffs. It is a chess match. He's going to be legit. At number 1, I know he's going to think that this is a jab at him.
Oh boy.
It's QP. I don't know why he's so sensitive when I bring his name up. He's got the Chiefs, which is, he's got a 99 speed receiver, which, yeah, some guys are starting to catch up, but there's like, one of those a draft if they're even 99. And he's got in a Madden that's offensive focused with diminished abilities where really, do you really get excited about very many abilities anymore?
No, nope.
Even if it's like, even if you get inside stuff, it's like, well, it's not what it used to be. It's really not that good. Even the guys with inside stuff are like, it really doesn't trigger that much. He's got the best ability in set feet lead, and he's got actually pass lead elite, which is the upgraded version. He's got worthy. It doesn't matter who your running back is this Madden, it appears. He's got that tight end that he threw like 77 passes to, who's probably X factor now. So I expect QP because I get on him because he's one of the elites. I think that what was one of the elites, I think QP has to flip that switch. He's in the woe is me kind of period where I'm a has-been. I was on the couch, even though I run trips on every third down. I was on the couch, blah, blah, blah. He needs that fire. He needs to stop taking the insults and start dishing them out. And that switch is going to flip.
Interesting
It's
list.
going to flip soon.
I'll say this about QP. He played the game or practices the game or does something. The custom stems, he uses half my plays. I know he makes jokes I stole his plays, but he was off for 8 months. I mean, the guy runs half my playbook. The guy is putting the work in. The issue is, I'm going to choose my words carefully. I'm not trying to bash QP, but a lot of people view him as how he used to talk about Grams and some of the other guys before him, the Plummer era. People look at QP now and they're like, wait, this guy won 5 Lombardies? Like, what's the deal? He has no aura about him. It feels like he's got no confidence. He doesn't throw the ball like he used to. He feels like a completely different man. I'm not saying he can't win with this style because he did make the AFC Championship game, but it's definitely not the cool, suave, like Los Angeles, wearing a robe, chest hair sticking out, like smoking a cigar, smacking women QP that we had 3 years ago.
All right, we're gonna avoid the the accusations of domestic abuse there.
Oh, sorry.
Anyways, no, I think that narrative, which is what you're playing here, the Plummer era, former champ QP is actually a legitimate one that QP's got to wrestle with a little bit, and I think that's one to keep an eye on because I think you're right. There's a attitude when you play a guy to know what to expect, and I don't think these new guys have that when they play QP. He's a little bit more subdued and beatable, and keeps you in the games. And I think he's got to change that.
That's good. Matt, good list. Guys, great season. Again, shout out to everyone who makes this this steam engine run. All the games were commentated in playoffs. I mean, we just have a great group of guys right now. No divas. Good stuff going on in the SML. Thanks so much for watching.
Join the rebellion. Join the rebellion. Don't let the evil empire exist. Join the rebellion.
Guys, don't listen to him. If you want to win, join me. Take it easy. See you around.